My name is AJ Brockman, and I am a digital painter. Digital painting itself has been around for a while, but it's been in different, arenas like concept art and architectural drawings and stuff like that. So I'm kind of bringing it to the next level in the fine art aspect. I started in art because I love it. I have a passion for it. When I was younger, I would paint traditionally. I used the paintbrush and acrylics just like any other artist would. And as my disease progressed, I began to use the use of my hands and was forced to transfer into more of a digital medium. I was fortunate enough to develop and understand how to use the computer and computer software to my advantages early on, and that's kind of how it started.
What I wanted to show you today, AJ, is a couple of pieces that are produced from our ceramic facility at the Lighthouse Art Center. And this first one thing that is one of my favorites is noticing artists who are blossoming, who are coming into their own in art. And one such person is AJ Brockman. When one of his works was first submitted to a call for artists called Contempo last year, I noticed it was a very interesting, completely a technique that I really hadn't seen before. And I thought that before I met the young man. Once I met him, I realized what a truly exceptional human being he is. And I've seen his career really take off.
I paint with my left hand, but more specifically, I only paint with one finger on my left hand. I really only have, 2 or 3 inches range of motion, left to right and up and down. And that's it right there. And I'm able to use the mouse pad to do the brush strokes. And I always say that if J-Lo is gonna insure her butt for $1 million, I should insure my hand for $1 million, because it's definitely my $1 million finger.
It takes an awful lot to take care of AJ. And it takes even more to be able to help AJ be the artist that he's becoming or become. And what I mean by that is that there's always been a certain aspect of care that he's needed. His vision is there, and he gives me the direction to get that finger in the right spot on that glide plate so that he can create what he needs to create, so that he's not fatigued, so that he can do it over and over and over again until he gets the piece that he wants. Putting his foot up, just doing everything that needs to be done to help him be the creative artist that he's become.
How are you guys? Yeah. Yeah, thank you, yeah. Good morning. We're here at the Palm Beach Gardens Green Market today, and I try to do at least one show every week, and today's the day. So this show is super important to me because it happens to be my hometown, and I get to see a lot of my friends and fans and people that I've grown up with. So it's going to be a great show and a great day. And the bigger one is more 4 to 5. So yeah, thank you so much. I know, I wish, right? Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, all done on the computer. I do it all. Getting out and doing shows is not only important, but it's kind of cool in respects to what I'm doing. I'm introducing people that maybe have never seen or even heard of digital painting or creating artwork on the computer, aside from digital photography, and I'm kind of bringing that to a new audience and opening people's eyes to that. And people, when they look at me, their first impression is that I couldn't create stuff like this, or, you know, they don't even know that I'm the artist. But opening their eyes to this and really showing them how it's done, that my finger is, you know, essentially the paintbrush to a traditional medium. You know, that's how it works, and it's really cool to see people when they get it. My subject matter has a wide range of things, people, objects. I don't limit myself to a certain genre or a certain subject matter. Some of it is stuff that I wish maybe I could experience myself that in real life I couldn't do because of physical limitations. So maybe I want to paint that out. Zoom in here. I'll work on the eye a little more. Let's see. Go ahead and start fleshing out the eye a little better. There's really not a lot of other digital painters out there right now, especially representing their work as fine art. So I really draw on more traditional medium, and guys like, you know, Malcolm Farley here does some great action portraiture, and really enjoy his work. And David Ewell, one of the premier Harley-Davidson artists, does some really great stuff. I love his old style and vintage atmosphere. And even guys like Jeff Finley and everybody over at Go Media, they're doing some really great work, and they're designers. So I draw inspiration from all kinds of different media. One thing that I'm super excited about is the opportunity to work with the city of West Palm Beach. I have an upcoming deal where my artwork's going to be in multiple city locations and very accessible to the public. And it's super exciting because it can bring digital painting and my technique to a whole new audience.
Settings for exposure to great art are as important. You know, that backdrop is just as important in really fully appreciating the artwork. So I want to be able to do it justice by putting it in, you know, the greatest space that we have. And I think we'll be able to come up with something that Mr. Brockman is going to be happy with and will say yes to. Well, I'm showing AJ where I want to have him put a show together and have him work with us to do something pretty special between here and the pavilion and the nighttime things down there. It still is astonishing to me to look at work that you think is a real picture or you think is a real painting, and to understand, you know, that there's actual science that can trick the eye. I mean, I'm excited about that.
I'm not a very religious person, but I think that, you know, we more along the lines of fate. You know, like I've been given this hand in life, and it's, you know, I have so many drawbacks in certain areas, but I still have my one finger, and, you know, I use that because that's really all I have left, and I'm able to exploit that to still create and do what I want to do. And, you know, I feel fortunate that I at least have that finger to still work with. And when the day comes where I don't have my finger anymore, where my disease progresses to where I can't do what I'm doing now, then, you know, I'll move on to the next step and see where this goes. All right, hi everyone. My name is Brockman, and that video was shot about 7 years ago, actually. So it's a bit dated, but it gives you a good background into who I am, and I can kind of bring you up to speed from that. So again, to go even further than the video, I have a neurological condition called spinal muscular atrophy, and it basically affects my muscles, and I'm never able to rebuild new muscles. So there are treatments now that I'm part of that have been helping prolong the progression of my disease. And if young kids that are diagnosed with SMA, if they get this medication, it's actually a cure. So it's pretty amazing the technology that's come out now. But I've been in a wheelchair all my life. I've never let it hold me back. As a kid, I was always artistic. I loved to paint and draw. When I had a little more use of my hands, I've been in chair since I was 2 years old, but I was able to use my hands a little bit better as a younger kid. So I could paint and draw traditionally. I did a lot of watercolor, a lot of acrylic, and just really fell in love with art young. I went to Duncan Middle, which some of you here may have gone to. I was part of their art club, and really started my love there with Miss Stravelli. I went on to Congress Gardens High School, and thought that I wanted to be in radio and TV. They have a TV and film magnet. I thought, maybe I could, it's great to be an artist, but it's hard to make a living as an artist, so maybe we'll get into broadcasting. And when I was in high school, I took a digital design class that was more commercial art, so business cards, websites. And when I took that class, I really realized what I could do on the computer as far as creating art. So I created a lot of my own techniques. I watched countless YouTube videos and kind of taught myself, and really dove in head first from there. I went to a college, Digital Media Arts College, which is now part of Lynn University, and learned even more there. Got my degree in fine art, and actually graduated valedictorian from that college. So I put in my effort, my time there, and one of my teachers saw the work that I was doing and the effort I was putting in, and actually offered me a job right out of college. So I went right into a senior design position at an ad agency, and one of the big points to that is you never know where the next opportunity is going to come from. So I never thought that, I was doing a job interview while I was going to school, but it turned out to where that was the case. So always, be aware of your surroundings and where that next opportunity might come from. And as long as you put your best foot forward, the opportunities will come to you. So I worked for the ad agency for about 3 years, and I got really burned out. I was tired of doing art for other people with business cards and websites. The client always thought that they were, they had the best vision, but and because they were paying the bills, you had to do what they wanted. But it was really, it wasn't very creatively stimulating for me. So I ended up just quitting. I had a great paying job, and but one day I went in and said I can't do this anymore. So I quit my great job there to focus on my art full time. And after that, I started doing art shows, Artie Raw, Sunfest, and selling my work as fine art, and that's kind of where the video picked up. With that, I thought, now that I'm going to do my art full time, what would be, if I could choose anybody in the world, who would I want to do a painting for? And at the time, I thought, well, the president of the United States, who would be more important than the president? So at the time, it was President Barack Obama, and I had an agent that helped me get in front of the right people, and I did a family portrait of Barack Obama in 2012, and it was the first portrait that included his dog in it. So I do a lot of pet portraits, and that was kind of my claim to fame. And one thing led to another, and I was able to actually give it to him in person when he was down here campaigning in 2012. So that portrait actually, I met Barack Obama. He was very down to earth, a very nice guy, genuine, and regardless of your political views, it was pretty amazing to have time with the president. So I gave him the painting, and he promised me that he would take it home with him. And I thought, yeah, right, I understand that. But the next day, the portrait was being loaded onto Air Force One, and that picture of my portrait being loaded on Air Force One was one of the best top 10 pictures of 2012 in the New York Times. So it's pretty amazing to see all that happen, and really exciting to have my career go that far. So after that, I opened up my own art gallery because it was very difficult to do shows all the time. So I wanted to have somewhere I could have my art up all the time, And we found this little forgotten town called Lake Park. And I know a lot of you may know where it is or not, but it's about 20 minutes north of here, right off North Lake Boulevard. And we have an art gallery and a brewery, and actually the landlord didn't want to be a landlord anymore, and we took over the whole plaza. So me and my family own basically an entire city block, which we have turned into an art district. So we focus on art, live music, and with that, we have a theater that was doing really well until the pandemic hit. And unfortunately, we couldn't keep that going, but we had an investor come in and rented it out to have them take over. So now it's getting ready to go back in operation. Unfortunately, as we don't have a big budget to last through the pandemic, but now everything is starting to get going again, and it's really turned into a great little area. Part of my passion was public art as well, and we did a 300-foot mural behind our building that is also was the first mural approved in Lake Park. So if you're in the area, definitely come by and check that out. And we'd love to have you. And I'll take some questions, I guess. Go ahead, Nick, in the back.
Go ahead and try it.
Have you ever had any of your work displayed in what you
Have I had my work displayed?
In a museum?
In a museum. So, not, I guess the closest thing to a museum would be the Lighthouse Art Center. So you saw it in the video a little bit. It's a non-profit, I guess it's an art museum. That's how they brand themselves. So that's in Terquesta, Florida. And yeah, I've had a few of my pieces there for a few months at a time.
Did you go with Baker?
My dad has one of your works.
What? Oh my gosh.
Do you know the name Michael Bornstein?
Absolutely, brother.
Yeah, that's my dad.
Wow, awesome, man.
Yeah, so we've had that picture for as long as I can remember. And the whole time I thought it was a picture. And so he told me about you and what you did. And I was like, wow, that's incredible.
Thank you, brother. That's amazing. Yes. Yeah, your dad's been a big supporter of mine. So thank you. I appreciate it. And tell him I said hello.
You know, so your dad knows.
Yeah, totally.
Right there.
What's the longest you worked on a piece for?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, with the technique that I have, it's very, very time consuming. So, I literally paint every brush stroke by hand. So, my average painting is about 100 to 200 hours. So, again, I mean, I'm not doing that all at once, but it's over about 2 or 3 weeks. But the most time consuming one I've ever done was for the president, and that took me about 6 months.
Is there a certain software you use for your paintings?
For sure, brother. So I use Corel Painter to do a lot of the brush strokes. That's what you saw in the video. It's Corel Painter. And then I do a lot of finishing touches in Photoshop. So Photoshop is more for the color correction, getting everything else kind of loaded out and adding what I want, the final touches.
What would you say would be like your style? Like, you know, I saw a lot of realistic, so I'm just asking.
Yeah, totally. So I guess if I had to say a style, be photorealistic is probably how it would be. But I like to say it's more impressionistic. So I'm really a big fan of Monet, and a lot of the way I create my artwork is small blocks of color, which is more of an impressionistic style of like Monet did. But when you look at it from far away, it makes it look like a photorealistic image. So I'd say a mixture of impressionism and photorealism.
Do you have any pictures we can purchase on like your website?
Yeah, so if you Google my name, you can find a bunch of cool stuff. And my actual website is called singlehandedstudio.com, and I have a bunch of prints on the website as well as some originals. And unfortunately, I haven't been able to really create a lot of new things lately. I've been really busy with our gallery and the brewery and transitioning the theater over to new ownership. But as evidence of commissions, I actually finished a commission for Mr. Eddie Stevens about a year ago.
I have an AJ original.
You do, brother. Yeah, for him and his wife, and it was of their dog. So I've been doing a lot of dog portraiture lately, and that's been a subject that I really enjoy.
Any other questions?
That's my little boy, Abel.
Is there anyone that you look up to, like, as an idol?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I know it was mentioned a little bit earlier, his name, but I think if I had to pick an idol, it would probably be Walt Disney. Disney's been a big inspiration to our life. We're big Disney people, but even from an art standpoint, Disney was one of the first artists to bridge art and business. And you really have to have that mindset to be successful. It's hard to just, be an artist and make a living. Some people are lucky enough to have that. But if you have a passion and a mindset, and it's less about money in the beginning and more about doing it for the right reasons, then the money will come. So I think if I had to pick anybody, he would be my idol.
Any other questions for AJ? Cool. Well, AJ, thank you for your time.
I appreciate it, and always, like I said, I'll leave you with this, always look for the next opportunity, and don't be afraid to ask for help. That's another big one. My mom, that you saw in the video, she helped me really do all of this in life. And I know it's not probably, a lot of you might not be friends with your parents, but as you get older, you realize how helpful they are. And now my wife and my son, they're my helpers now. So just do whatever you find in life that you're passionate about, and the success will follow. So thank you guys.